What is up, guys? Attacking Toucans here, welcoming you back to Majora's Mask Randomizer. In between episodes, I went and got the boss key and regular key from Tingle for Snowhead Temple, and then backtracked through everything that we had done in Snowhead Temple the first time we came through here so we wouldn't have to redo it again. And in this episode, we are going to completely finish Snowhead Temple since we now have enough keys. So currently we're in the middle room, and this room is just so wild to look at from below. It can be a little bit daunting, but I think this is one of the most intriguing temples in Zelda history. There's just a lot to this. So the reason I decided to come here was because we are currently trying to get the Woodfall boss key so we can finish that temple before the end of this 3-day cycle. And my chances of finding it are higher if I go to an area that has a lot more chests. And Snowhead Temple, oh my gosh, there's a lot of flaming skulls. Whew. Get me out of here, please. But there's a lot of chests inside this temple that will have randomized items. I believe there is 4 remaining, and then after we beat this temple, we'll still be able to get 5 new items, or maybe 6 new items just from beating this temple, because whenever you beat it, that sentence is kind of weird, just like left hanging right, whenever you beat it, it will turn to springtime in the mountains, and that will open up a lot more opportunities for us. So that is the current plan. But overall, I feel like this temple is pretty great. And this episode, I kind of want to talk more about like level design and game design and what makes a good Zelda temple, because I'm actually really interested in game design overall. I'm really inspired by this one channel called The Game Maker's Toolkit, where he describes like dungeon design for Zelda and for a lot of other types of games. I've also was really into the series called Levelhead in the past by Sunder, because game design is pretty much the creative side of making the video games, and I'm not really like much of a tech person. I'll probably never learn how to code or do scripting for a video game. I'm not that type of brain, but I like the creative side, which is like deciding what you do with the dungeons and designing them and doing the level design and stuff like that. And so I wanted to talk about that a bit today. So I kind of broke down dungeon design in Zelda games into 7 different categories, and it's like the 7 ways we can judge a Zelda temple. So the first thing is by style, look, and theme. That is like the wallpaper that's on the temple, how much they did with the design, how it looks, how it feels. And as far as this temple goes, I really like the exterior of the temple. I think the outside is absolutely stunning. I don't think we want to go through this door yet. Yeah, we will have to come. Okay, we don't want to press this button yet, because if we do, then it's going to prevent us from going to the mini-boss, I believe. We're going to have to come back to this room. But yeah, the exterior of this temple, I think is one of the most unique out of any Zelda game. I love how you have to go around the spiraling path that circles around the temple to get here. It's very interesting. It feels like something from like a Dr. Seuss book, and I think it was a really cool choice. And then on top of that, I like how there's like this fire and ice contrast, because you have the lava in the bottom of the temple, and there's like, it's the Snowhead Temple, but then you also find the fire arrows whenever you come in here. So I think it just gives you a really cool feel. So I feel as far as style goes, they did a pretty good job at nailing that. Although, I don't know if they added a lot of like intricacy to the design, but it's overall good. Ooh, we have a good chest right here. This is gonna be a big boy. Bunny Hood, come on, let me run around at the speed of sound. Mask of Truth, all right, we'll be able to use this to go and do the dog racing minigame and finally win that. Cool. Got another mask in the pockets. Let's go ahead and melt all these big ice blocks. So I think the next thing to do when assessing a temple is to judge the temple's purpose. As if, does the temple even have a purpose? Is there any storyline implications that surround the temple, and are they good? And what I mean by the temple's purpose is, did they build a temple for a specific use? For example, with the Dodongo's Caverns in Ocarina of Time, the purpose of that temple is to be able to have a place for the Gorons to get their food. Last episode, we talked about how the Deku Palace was a place of worship for the Dekus. And stemming off of that just a little bit, somebody left a really funny comment to me, because I said that I think the Deku Scrubs would worship the Quad Sun, and somebody's like, yeah, they would most likely worship the Quad Sun, because they're plants. That's literally the thing keeping them alive, so that's most likely what they would praise. Very, very good point. I agree with you there. First off, where did the music go? Just got really quiet in here out of nowhere. And second off, I don't think that Snowhead really has much of a use. At least I don't think the game really tells you why it was built. For me, it looks like all of these side rooms are kind of like storage rooms of some sort, so maybe it was just like some random like storage location. But Snowhead Temple, like the purpose of its creation is a little bit weird to me. I'm probably also looking over some important information somewhere because there is lots of strange dialogue boxes that might include. But yeah, I think as far as temple purpose goes, they didn't do a great job here. The third thing to judge a temple by is the exploration. So how linear is it? And is there functionless rooms? Now Snowhead is a very interesting temple because it starts off being super linear, but then once you get the fire arrows, the temple becomes very unlinear, and you have to navigate around it in a variety of ways. Now that's personally why I love this temple so much. It's really awful for your first like playthrough or two because it's really confusing, but it becomes better as you go through it. I hate how every time when you come back into this room, these wolfos respawn. It really pisses me off. And then for functionless rooms, it's kind of just like rooms that don't have a purpose that you can just find that are just maybe off the beaten path that might have like a little collectible or something in them. And Snowhead I don't think has a lot of those either. Pretty much every room has a pretty strong purpose. Okay, I think to break this crit, we're gonna have to jump. Ah, it worked. Yeah, we don't have normal bomb. Normally you just like have to throw up a bomb and time it right, but we don't even have the bomb bag yet. I'm very surprised we haven't found that, given that there's 3 upgrades for it as well. But so far, we still only have the bomb mask. So where did the music go in this temple? It's like gone. Notice it's the final day. Does that have something to do with it? Am I just gonna have to like re-add the music in post? Possibly, okay. All right, let's knock down all of these icicles. So the fourth category is the puzzles. So that is just like the different type of puzzles you might find inside a temple. And I think Snowhead does a good job with that. I think it's very interesting how you go through and there's like some basic puzzles your first time going through, but then as you go through the temple a second time with the fire arrows, the puzzle of the temple becomes way more meta, and you have to think about the temple as a whole instead of as separate individual rooms. Woodfall Temple didn't really have very many puzzles whatsoever. That temple is more focused around combat, I think. You have a lot of mini bosses and fights in that temple, and lots of enemies are in every single room. It's more about navigation. The fifth category is bosses and mini bosses, which I think Snowhead Temple does a fantastic job. Well, mini boss, we fight a Wizrobe, which isn't that great. But as far as the... Is this a room? It's a chest. But as far as the main boss, Goat, he is outstanding. One of the most fun bosses out of any Zelda game ever. And I think a lot of people can agree on that. The sixth category is replayability, so whether or not you would want to replay a temple. And I think Snowhead Temple is actually one of those few temples, kind of like I mentioned earlier, I think it's more fun the more you play through it because you have a better understanding of it. It's very overwhelming the very first time because there's a lot of things to take in, but as you play through the game other times, it becomes a lot more manageable. Okay, I don't know if I want to open up this locked door. I think we're better off saving this key and coming around this direction because, like I said, there's other ways to go through this temple. And the final category is music. How was the background music of the temple? And right now it's kind of weird because for some reason the music cut out, although I added it in post. But I think the music overall is very important in setting the mood for a temple. I think the music for Snowhead is a little bit repetitive. It can get a little bit old, but it's not bad. It's nice. I think like the xylophone sounds. I can't actually hear the music right now. I'm just having to like remember it because it glitched out. Why did my music glitch out? I've never had that happen. Come on, my aim is crap. Dude. Wow. What? How am I missing so much? Okay, maybe we can get it from the other side or a different angle. No, don't fall down here. Oh no. Okay, we're good. This might actually be a better vantage point overall. Although the ladder to climb out of here is so long. It's actually my least favorite. What? Oh. I think I know what's happening. I think if we look at it with our lens of truth, yeah, from these sides, it's actually filled up. We have to shoot the arrows from the other side. I completely forgot about that. All right, we can't be taking forever doing this, dude. We're on the final day. We actually are timed. The timing is like way better when playing through the game casually. Whenever you're doing a Let's Play, it's a lot weirder because you don't play through the game just as quickly because you're commentating. And so the time actually does become a bit more of a problem. Man, this like trippy lens of truth is so weird. Come to me, my sisters. Hey, sisters. Oh, damn, we are 7 stray fairies behind on the tracker. We already have 10. We're already that far along. I'm really surprised. Okay, so we're gonna come from this direction because since we have the fire arrows already, we're able to raise this platform, which is like another angle to get through that door that we saw on the other side. We're gonna circle around and enter from another way. Spank ya. What a nice platform. But yeah, so today's comment question of the day is going to be related to what we talked to today. It's going to be more of like a homework assignment. So in the comments, in the pinned comments, and in the description, I put a thing that you can copy and paste the 7 categories that I think we can judge temples based off of. And you can fill that out and you can give a description on how you think every single category should be rated. And by rated, you don't have to give it a number rating, just kind of give like a description, like kind of think critically about it. Because I think thinking critically about game design actually makes you a much gamer overall. And you can think about games from a more critical standpoint. Because although I like to make my videos like funny and entertaining as far as like comedy and stuff goes, I think it's also important to sometimes add elements that are more like thought-provoking and educational to like maybe inspire you in different ways. And at the same time, I'm not the type of person who's capable of making every single situation funny. I don't really have that like mindset. I like to actually have realistic conversations about topics every once in a while as well. Alright, so as we know, Fierce Deity Link is able to get rid of this guy so quick. This icy grandpa. This is what Quavo's gonna look like in future. The rapper from Migos, or like Gucci Mane. They're gonna be icy grandpas because they're gonna be covered in so many diamonds. Wait, what? No! I think this guy goes a little bit faster since we're in a smaller room. But it's okay. We're able to get rid of him way faster too. There's nothing he can do about it. Man, now I'm just like all excited to go and do the puppy racetrack again. That's sad. I've been looking forward to that like the whole entire time. It's one of the best parts of the game. You know how earlier, whenever we like were playing with the dog in Clocktown with the Zora Link, and the puppy like was really excited, and he was just like chasing Zora Link around and like was sitting by him and being all adorable? Well, whenever we go to the dog racetrack with the Zora Link, you can just imagine how excited they're going to be to see him. Doing some of the Goron Link maneuvering in this temple can be a little bit scary sometimes because if you fall, the consequences can be pretty dire. You'll have to climb all the way back up around. And when you don't know the temple very well, that can be very annoying to do because you have to like re-navigate it. Now me personally, I have the whole entire temple layout memorized, so it's not too scary. All right, what's up in this room? Well, this just takes us up to the next level. I'm just gonna climb up to the very top. I don't think there's even a reason for us to come up in this direction right now. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna climb up to the very top and try to jump down and get a stray fairy. That's one of the more annoying ones. And this is why I saved that key, because we want it more for this door than we do the other door. This is a much more important door to go through. These are such weird enemies. They're just gigantic snow lumps. My lumps, my lovely snowy lumps. Check it out. They're cute having a snowball fight. Dude, whenever I think of snowball fights, I think of that scene from Elf when he freaking turns into a snowball, like assault rifle. It's freaking just mows people down with those snowballs. It's hilarious. So this temple overall does make you use the Lens of Truth, since you just got it in the Goron Village area. But yeah, so this temple makes you use the Lens of Truth a decent amount. Dang it. You can't use 2 magic items at the same time. So I can't use a Lens of Truth and bow and arrow at the same time. That's stupid, stupid. I like the bubble pop sound effect. So funny. And dang it. So many times I have to change out my inventory. Sometimes it'd be nice with the arrows, especially in this game, if you ever have the bow equipped, if you could just press like the Z button and have it cycle between your 3 types of arrows. Or maybe they could put that on the D-pad, like an option to change out what arrows are in your inventory. They're back again. Oh, did they call for the exterminator again? Well, the exterminator would be happy to see you two, of course. Don't even have to ask me twice. Thank you. Forgot you get, no, don't go through there. When Fierce Deity Link, oh my god, can it talk? Fierce Leity Dink, that's hilarious. Oh my god, they respawned. But his hitbox is actually like much larger, so it's so much easier to like slip into the doorways. All right, thank you. That is 12 and 13. Only 2 more. I can't believe we collected them all that fast. I'm so impressed. All right, and where are we at with, where's this doorway at? Okay, so what we need to do is that button that I showed you guys earlier. Once we press it, a gigantic stone pillar will rise out of the ground. We'll be able to make it across here. But what I want to do first is there's also, oh my gosh, this is going to be hard to do with this. Is that the entrance right there? Yeah, there's like a random thing on the wall that we need to jump into to get a fairy shard, and I think we can do it as we are now. Should I do it as Link or should I do it as Fierce Deity? Fierce Deity does jump further, but he might jump too far. I'm gonna try it as Link first. That should be perfect. Yes, awesome. Okay, happy we're able to get this one. That is the 14th fairy, and we have 1 left, which is in that 1 locked room, which we get to from a specific direction. I think it is that door over there. That's where we came in from, is that door right there. Okay, so we're just gonna use our Deku Links to fly over there. It's perfect, it all worked out according to plan. No, can we make it over? Ooh, okay, nope, not working perfectly to plan. All right, here we go. And it's nice that we don't even have to do this room the way you normally do, because this room is normally like kind of annoying, but since we're entering from this side, we kind of just get to skip over it all. Okay, so there's another big opening right here. Let's go ahead and shoot this fairy before, oh, I can't see it, or is it? Maybe I need a better vantage point. Man, I really hate this graphic glitch. Somebody like told me how to fix the graphic glitch, and I tried to fix it in the options, and I just couldn't figure out how to do it. What, do I need to jump down into here? Maybe I am. Oh gosh. All right, you asked for it. Ha ha ha. Feeling good. What the heck? I popped it. I heard the plop. Oh, thank God. I don't even know how I was missing it, but we got it, boys. That is the 15th fairy. Let's go ahead and mark it. I'm just gonna mark it ahead of time. He's really circling me. All right, there we go. All right, now let's go raise this pillar all the way to the roof. So last episode, I asked you guys about your opinions about Versus Expo, the documentary, and I just want to go ahead and just highlight some of the comments that were just like really nice, and I'm just really happy that lots of you guys checked that out. Thank you to everybody who checked that out. The main reason I wanted you guys to see it is because I just want to overall just raise awareness for the event and just inform more people about what it is, because just for an event like this, honestly, the more people that know about it, the better. Even if you're not able to go, like if you know about it, does just definitely help us out. And the thing is, the whole entire event is always going to be live streamed, so even if you're never able to go, you're always still going to be able to watch it online or be able to tell other people about it who might be interested. So that's like the main reason I kind of pushed it so hard yesterday. And then lots of people said that they wouldn't be able to go because they like live in Europe, but I'm pretty sure I mentioned that we do eventually, if we're successful enough, want to start a branch out in Europe as well. It's going to take a few years definitely to build up to that point, but it's 100% possible if we do it right, and I think it would be a very good idea because there is not enough gaming events in Europe, especially ones that focus on just variety gaming, kind of like the way we are. But yeah, I'm glad you guys like it, and there's going to be way more information coming soon on my channel about it. That documentary was kind of just like the history of Versus and the general over idea about Versus Expo, but I'm going to have like a lot of details about year 2 coming soon. So for those of you who are planning to go, be on the lookout for that information. Another thing I mentioned last episode is the amount of episodes this series is going to be, just kind of like guessing. Just kind of guessing based on what we've seen so far. It seemed like the average guess was around 30 episodes. And I think that sounds about right. Although we are able to get through these temples and everything quite a bit quicker because of the way we have our items. None of the temples are lasting as long. Normally it'd probably take like 2 pretty long episodes to finish this temple, but because we had the fire arrows from the very beginning, we're able to get it through in like half the time, so it's been pretty good. Alright, let's deposit the stray fairy shards so we can get our double magic meter from this fairy. I love the colors of this one. The green hair looks dope. Whenever a girl or guy has just like really good looking like lime green hair, I always think that looks so cool. Only problem is it can start looking really gross if you don't keep up with it. But yeah, I wanted to come out and get this double magic meter before we went and fought the boss because it will really help us out. Alright, we're back in here. So now it's the fun part. Reclimbing up this whole entire temple while there's a gigantic stone pillar in the middle. It's like a completely different maze, but I think it's honestly a lot of fun. But that's just because I have experience with the game. And my very first time like really playing through this game was during my spring break. I think when I was like in 4th or 5th grade. I forget what age I was at that time, like maybe 13 years old. And I remember just specifically getting stuck in this temple because I just did not know what to do once this pillar was raised. It was just way too much for me to take in. I wasn't able to think about the puzzles that critically. I did not mean to go down the staircase. But fortunately, my Meemaw, or my mom's mom, my grandma, but I call her my Meemaw, which is, I think, just mommy backwards. It's kind of a weird thing, right? I don't know. Names for grandparents can always be very strange. Everybody has a different one for their grandparents, and that's kind of the cool part, like the uniqueness of it. I think this is a good place to get some like arrow refills, typically, or bloopy refills, I guess. Let me get some arrows. No? Nope, just a bunch of bloopies. Okay. Fine by me. We have enough arrows anyways. We're good. I don't want your nasty crate arrows. I only get my arrows from Gary from the Curiosity Shop. Yeah, so my Meemaw was watching over us because my parents were going on a cruise. And my Meemaw was a lot more generous, especially when it came to video game related things than my parents were. My parents weren't like really a big fan of me buying anything related to video games. But my Meemaw was the one who bought me my GameCube. She bought it for me for Christmas, and it came with Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, like the Zelda's Collector's Edition in the first place. So anyways, I was playing the game, and I just could not get through it, and I asked her if she would take me to Toys R Us and get me a Zelda guidebook so I could finally figure it out. Because at this time, I don't think we even had internet, or at least I didn't even know about game facts at this time. I was still, I think, a bit too young. And so she was like, yeah, of course. So we went to Toys R Us and we got a Majora's Mask guidebook, and I was able to get really far into the game over that spring break, and it really made me a much larger fan of Majora's Mask completely. I ended up falling in love with the game over that spring break. But also, when I went to Toys R Us to get the guidebook, she also let me buy Pikmin, which that was when I also played Pikmin a lot, and that's also when I became such a big Pikmin fan. So like, I also gave a shout out to my Meemaw during the Zelda entrance randomizer we did last weekend during the live stream. But just like a second shout out to her for just being one of the biggest influences of my life and being such like an amazing person. I would not be the gamer I am if it wasn't for her and her generosity. But that's definitely like just one of the best memories related to this game for me. And I love good memories related to video games. Just so wholesome. Oh, dang it, he spawned right next to me and I still was too slow-minded to freaking hit him in time. Okay. I got closer to hitting him that time and he was across the whole entire goddamn room. Okay. Get out of here, you lanky ass lesbian. Is it okay for me to call a male character a lesbian? Sure, why not? I don't think there needs to be that strict of rules on that type of stuff. Okay, another good chest. Come on. Cafe mask! I found the me mask! Yay! Okay, I've actually seen like a gif of this before. It's gonna be terrifying. Watch this. So we have regular cafe, and then we have him with no soul. The soulless cafe. He looks like he's just wants to die. Which he probably does. I mean, he was an adult and then got turned into a child right before his wedding, so I wouldn't be surprised. But that is hilarious. Okay, now that we have this, we'll be able to do the whole entire Anju and Cafe side quest. So maybe we'll do that in the next 3-day cycle, because that's something pretty easy to do alongside other things. Let me get past here. Dang it. God dang it. Alright, so now for the next fun part, which is lowering this platform for us to get to the boss room. Well, the boss room is actually right above us. It's the highest point of the temple, which is really cool. As the escalation of this temple is really cool, going from the very bottom of it all the way to the very top to fight the boss at the very top. Just makes you feel so much more accomplished. But this is the kind of confusing part. The reason I got stuck in this temple, I think, but I'm actually remembering the real reason I got stuck in this temple was because I didn't even realize you could punch out those ice discs. I think I had to read the guidebook to realize that was even an option. And I was like, what? You can do that? I feel like that happens a lot. That's normally like the reason that people will get stuck in different parts of video games. It's just not even realizing that a certain game mechanic exists. Because sometimes it may seem obvious, but sometimes it doesn't appear as obvious to people. I feel like this is one of those things where it's like, yeah, they're kind of like, they look different, but the fact that you remove them by punching them as a Goron might not be the most obvious. I feel like maybe they should have had like some sort of dialogue. Title should have been like, hey Link, you should try punching these out as Goron Link. Now that in general might make the puzzle even too obvious, just like spelling it out for you, but at the same time that probably would have been the smartest situation. Okay, I would like to do this the most epic way possible. I'd like to get rid of that first snowball so I can make it in there, plow through them all. Oh my gosh, floating magic pod, how does it do it? And we're here at the very end of the temple. We have done it. Time to fight one of the most fun bosses in the game, Goat. Although it's spelled weird, G-O-H-T. It's really interesting. But the spelling of that actually is kind of what inspired the name of my next song coming out for Lil Hyrule. The first single by Lil Hyrule, which is If Link Became a Rapper. The first single is going to be coming out very soon, and the song is going to be called Flex Shit. It's definitely like a more generic like flexy song with like Link just flexing how badass he is. I showed an almost finished version on my first Zelda entrance randomizer stream, so some of you guys have heard it. But the finished version will be done soon, and it's called Flex Shit, but it's kind of spelled incorrectly, kind of how Goat's name is spelled incorrectly. It's spelled S-H-Y-T, and I think it's really a high energy, fun song. I think it's like really fun to dance to. Kind of just makes you feel like Link, like a badass. Like if Link was going to be a rapper, he would have just a lot of badass things to rap about, which is why I'm kind of doing the idea, because he is just one of the most badass video game characters out there. He ain't afraid of anything. Dang it, come on. So this boss fight pretty much just makes us a matador, I guess, because we're chasing a gigantic mechanical goat around a circular room and trying to hit him with our spikes. Now, like I said, this is one of the most fun boss fights for me because just rolling around as Goron Link in general is really a fun thing to do. And, oh my gosh, I'm like losing control right now. And the phases to this boss fight are all really interesting because it gets more and more difficult. Like the progression's super interesting. Like it starts off just by like hitting you with that little electric ball and kicking these rocks up at you. But then later on, he will start dropping bombs and I think he does other things too. I just can't think of them right now. Oh yeah, and he also drops stalactites, that's right. Okay, what we want to do is we want to trip him up. And then once he's all tripped up, if we can get some really good hits on him with the Fierce Deity Mask, we might be able to kill him in like one good cycle. Dang it, he keeps on hitting me with that. We're not going to be able to do it if we keep on getting hit by his little electric ball. Come on, man. All right, we're catching back up. Trip this time, please. He's just afraid of my Fierce Deity Mask. I would be too if I was him, though. I'm surprised he hasn't fallen yet. Normally he gets tripped up really quick. Dude, okay, finally he fell. Holy jizz stain. All right, you're gonna regret falling, buddy. This is not gonna be fun for you. We just sliced him open a second butt crack. All right, so we were able to do him in like one cycle, kind of. This with quotations. It was a very loose one cycle. It was a very long cycle, but his death is very dramatic. Being covered by a gigantic pile of boulders. No bueno. Alright, so let's see what's going to be in place for this heart container. I can't wait till they're able to replace the item models with the new item that you're going to get. Because in Zelda 1, it was just like it was for Majora's Mask Randomizer. Oh yeah, I just realized. They just updated Majora's Mask Randomizer and added a ton of stuff, which we don't really have time to go over in this episode, but I'll talk about that next episode because there's a lot of new stuff. But there we have the All Knight's Mask, which is very interesting. It's like made of lace or something like that. But his eyes remind me of that picture of the stone C-3PO. That picture was so funny to me. Apparently this mask won't let you drift off to sleep, even if you want to. Yo, I need this mask 100% because that is like one of my biggest problems is like falling asleep whenever I'm watching movies and stuff. Wow, Goat's remains was a green potion. Interesting. I think we still get Goat's remains though. I can still mark it off on the tracker. But it's weird how we also got a green potion. Maybe that's what we're getting instead of the Oath to Order. We'll figure it out in a second. But I'm pretty sure we also get Ghost Remains. Right? Okay, so I think that's what we get instead of Oath the Order, because normally after you beat your very first temple, which we might still see this whenever we beat Woodfall Temple. Maybe it's when you beat Woodfall Temple, you learn the Oath to Order from the giants and like this gigantic like cloudy sequence. It's a very interesting sequence of events, but I'm not sure what happened just there. I can't quite figure it out, but I think we'll be able to figure it out as we keep on playing and just observing the way we get things. There's an invisible chest behind this waterfall that I'm going to collect really quickly, just because it's right here. Nice, piece of heart. I will take it. And something I'm going to check real fast is I'm going to see if we're able to trade in the gold dust into the smithy now that it's springtime. I'm going to see if he has a different dialogue box for us, because now that it is springtime, he might say something different. Hello, sir. Oh, nope. He still won't do anything for us because we don't have a sword, which we've gone through another full episode without finding a sword. That is literally crazy to me, dude. I can't believe this. Ooh, there's some rocks underneath this porch that we can break. Let's see. Is there anything underneath here? Why are there rocks like this that are breakable? There has to be something, right? They wouldn't just put these here. Unless they were just trying to fill space. They're like me playing Planet Coaster, right? Just decorating areas by putting as many rocks everywhere as I possibly can. That's hilarious. Alright, well I guess we'll see if we can find the sword or the Woodfall Boss Temple key next episode. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and head out. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.